So if you're looking for priceless tips from someone that's played a lot of Captain Boomerang, then be sure to stick around and enjoy the video. What is up guys, Jarv here, back today with another Suicide Squad video. You may recognise me from some of the Suicide Squad Insider videos. So as well as being a playtester, I'm also a full-time content creator, and today we're going to take a closer look at Captain Boomerang, and more specifically his builds and traversals and how these can evolve all the way from the start of the game all the way up to the end game. Now, Captain Boomerang is known for his Australian heritage and his skillful use of boomerangs, and when combined with the Speed Force gauntlets, he has a very unique and extremely effective traversal ability. Now, on top of that, each character in the game has their own unique passive talents. These are active all the time and will vary from character to character. For Captain Boomerang, he has Shoot Them Up. And with the love of shotguns, this gives shotgun kills a chance to build up your combo meter and instantly reload any equipped shotguns. That's alongside booming boomerangs, so for every 3 combo, this will increase damage to enemies within a 10-meter radius by 2%. And the final passive talent that links into the traversal is called Speedsterania. Now this is where Captain Boomerang uses his Speed Force gauntlet. By charging up, you can do long-range Speed Force teleports, and as well as that, you can even do shorter Speed Force dashes. Now when it comes to Captain Boomerang's traversal, a few hints and tips here is that the Speed Force can even be applied to walls and even the ground. You don't need to just use it in the air, and this allows you to run up the side of buildings, and if you need to get out of the action super quick, you can even escape enemies using a super fast Speed Force sprint. Now when using the longer range Speed Force teleport, you will need to look in the direction that you're looking to travel. However, using the Speed Force dash, as long as you're aware of your surroundings, you can literally teleport in any direction that you want. And if you select no direction at all, Captain Boomerang will teleport directly upwards. This is fantastic for gaining very quick verticality, getting you above your targets, and taking advantage of any talents that may require you to be airborne, which again is another area where Captain Boomerang really shines. There are 7 item rarities, and when you start the game, you'll have a choice between common, uncommon, and rare items. These all come with their own augments, which are the traits on the weapon, and by completing some of the early missions, you'll also unlock additional talent points, allowing you to unlock special skills on each of the characters' talent trees. Now, a lot of Captain Boomerang's talents early on link into melee and grenade damage, so by pairing that with a shotgun, which is one of his passive talents, this gives you a nice solid foundation for a very early game build. Remember though, as you work your way through the story, you will naturally unlock more talents and earn even more loot, and any build that you make early on in the game will evolve very quickly, especially when you earn higher tier items like legendaries, notorious, and infamy items that all have their own intrinsic trait. Now when it comes to the talent tree, Trickster will increase your damage dealt by 100% whilst also increasing your damage taken by 25%. This does turn Captain Boomerang into a slight glass cannon, but you will need to get a 40 times combo to activate it. Speccing into shotguns though, we're going to go with boomsticks. This will increase your shotgun damage by 10%, as well as improving your shield harvest chance by 10% too. And pairing that with shotgunner, with a 10 times combo or higher, shield harvest chance is increased by 25% on shotgun hits. That's paired with high tolerance, which is with a ×5 combo or higher, shield pickup amount is increased by 15% and shield overcharge by 25%. Early on, you will unlock the Suicide Strike, which is a powerful single target attack that can be executed after having built up enough Suicide Strike resource. This does build up over time from melee hits and melee kills, and powerful single target attacks will drop grenade ammo for all squad members. That's alongside OK Boomer. This pairs perfectly with the Suicide Strike. This activates with a ×50 combo and higher. This increases your grenade damage by 75% and your Speedster's surprise traversal attack damage by 50%. And in the final column, we have the Flying Boomerang, which is your Speed Force gauntlet. This provides a damage reduction of +20% for 5 seconds, alongside Flat Out, where critical hit damage is increased by 20% for 10 seconds after using your Speed Force gauntlet. And finally, Souped Up Combo. This is with a 10 times combo or higher. If the combo breaker triggers, this instantly generates 10 combo. And this can only happen once every 60 seconds, but it will keep you in the thick of the action and keep your combo meter topped up. Now, as we touched upon earlier, common, uncommon, and rare items have random augments applied and do not have any dedicated traits. Now, a few augments to keep an eye out for on items are things that boost your XP. Any boost here will help you level up your character faster, unlocking more talents on your talent tree, as well as aiding your path to earning even better loot. Now, as you work your way through the story, you can also complete support squad missions. These unlock important new members that all help the Suicide Squad. These can aid you in crafting weapons, overhauling them, applying afflictions, customizing the augments, and even eliting weapons, elevating them all to a brand new level. By the end of the campaign, your build would have completely evolved. And as we can see by the mid-game build here, we've switched from shotguns to SMGs. Now, this mid-game build heavily focuses around crit reload, counters, critical counters, as well as spawning additional grenade ammo, whilst also still focusing on applying deep freeze. Now, a key part to this build is the Eagle Combo Meal, a legendary SMG. This weapon has a legendary trait where critical counters with the weapon generate 50 times combo, instantly maxing out your combo meter and activating all your talents on your talent tree. Now, there are 3 infamy items as part of this build, but for this we're only taking advantage of the one-piece bonus. Now, all these items are obtainable through the support squad missions, and you can choose to do these throughout the course of the main story, or even wait until you complete the main campaign. Now, Penguin's grenade will mean shooting frozen enemies will regenerate 2% of our shield per shot. As for our shield mod, we have red tape from LexCorp, and this will increase our critical hit damage against brutes by 50%. And as for our traversal mod, this will increase our damage dealt to afflicted enemies by 50%. Now, for the final 2 items, the Neck Bomb and Lucky Charm are both spec'd into critical reload. One will replenish 25% of the ammo reserved for the current firearm, whereas the Lucky Charm will increase our critical hit chance by 10% and your critical hit damage by 30% for 20 seconds, and this stacks up to 5 times. Now, to get this build started, you'll need to get a kill off a critical reload. This should give you maximum combo straight away, activating all your talent tree bonuses. Once you're at maximum combo, you'll be free to apply Deep Freeze Affliction, pinning down all your targets, making them an absolute breeze to take out. The thing to bear in mind though is frozen targets are resistant to melee damage, so make sure not to use your traversal ability whilst all the targets are frozen. And when it comes to the main talent tree, like before, Captain Boomerang heavily specced into counter shot. Here you can get critical reloads that can help increase your critical hit damage and hit chance, as well as dropping additional shield. Now, a few of the tier 10 talents you need to activate on your talent tree to really elevate this build. One is called Trickster. This actually transforms Jackpot into Trickster. Now, this activates at 40 times combo and higher, and will increase the damage dealt by 100%, but will also increase your damage taken by 25%. Now, to offset that, we're going to activate Admiral Boomerang. Now, this transforms Boomercon into Admiral Boomerang. This activates at times 50 combo and higher, increases damage dealt by 60% and damage reduction by 25%. So by activating those 2 talents together, you're effectively increasing your damage by 160%, but your damage reduction overall remains the same. It's an incredibly strong build, perfect for mid-game and perfect when it comes to the introduction of incursions when you move into the end game. Now, throughout the incursion missions, you can earn exclusive infamy items, and unlike previous infamy sets that only have a 2-set bonus, the Bane infamy set from incursions has a 3-set bonus. Now, a thing to bear in mind as well is you can combine certain infamy items and notorious items to discover villain synergies. On this build alone, we have 2 villain synergies that take this build and elevate it to a completely different level. Now, as we touched upon at the beginning of the video, your builds throughout your Suicide Squad journey will continue to evolve. This is a huge evolution on the mid-game build, so all the selections on the main talent tree remain the same, whereas all the main items on the loadout have been switched out to take advantage of new traits and to create some new and deadly combinations. Now, as part of this build, we activate the full 3-piece set bonus, and the first bonus is where melee hits on an enemy has a 50% chance to craze it and a 50% chance to drop grenade ammo. That's alongside crit hits on crazed enemies having a 100% chance of spawning a rage zone, and by standing in that zone, that will trigger Bane's rage, and that increases all your damage dealt by 100% for 20 seconds. And the final 3-piece bonus is where Bane's Rage now increases grenade damage by 200%, and each enemy killed with a grenade while Bane's Rage is active refreshes Bane's Rage and adds a 33% chance of dropping grenade ammo. Now, one of the infamy items is called Death Rattle. This is from Bane's set, and successful critical reloads with this firearm trigger a stack of frenzy, and once at 3 stacks, this unleashes a wave of venom frenzy that crazes all enemies within 20 meters. Now, this can only happen once every 45 seconds, and failed critical reloads will remove all stacks. It's actually a very quick and easy way of applying craze, and it's the perfect trigger to activating the first of the 3-set bonus. The other item comes in the form of a shield mod called Unflinching, and this is where while 4 or more crazed enemies are within 20 meters of you, you deal 100% more damage and take 50% less damage. Now, as for notorious items, we have Hugo Strange's specialization. This is a notorious neck bomb. Now, after afflicting 5 enemies with the same affliction, you're now immune to damage from enemies afflicted by that affliction for 20 seconds. Now, this creates a villain synergy with Bane that unlocks Rage itself. This is an additional trait where each time you craze an enemy, you gain 50% extra damage for 30 seconds up to a maximum of 250%. It's a free stat boost, and one that is absolutely massive and allows you to deal some incredible amounts of damage. Now, this is paired with the villain synergy from the Black Mask Bulletstorm, and the main trait on this weapon is where each enemy hit with this firearm receives Black Mask's mark, and applying Black Mask's mark to 3 different enemies within 9 seconds causes all marked targets to trigger a fire explosion that burns all nearby enemies. As for the synergy, this unlocks Terror Behind the Mask. So for each non-vehicular enemy that you kill in the build up to Terror Behind the Mask, when that is active and reaches 5 stacks, the next enemy you craze deals 500% more damage while it's alive, and you deal 500% more damage while it's alive. And this consumes all 5 stacks of Terror Behind the Mask. As you can see, a full infamy set and 2 villain synergies creates a build that will strike fear into your opponents. Now, to show this build off at its best, I'm going to let some footage roll out of a Mastery Plus 10 run so you can see everything working together in all its glory. Theory crafting and build crafting is some of the best things you can do in Suicide Squad. Be sure to let us know what synergies and cool combinations you find down in the comments below.
Surgeon's broken through. Biomass continuing to mature, I see.
Best day ever! Oh, I love afflictions. Nothing looks better than a pin around my finger. You cleared all the soldiers off that rooftop. Now cut down the rest. Now that we're back, let's put all our energy into revenge.
You're capable of such ferocity, Grinzel. What a waste.